Well, if you're watching this video, I'm sure that your Toyota RAV4 does not start. And I got a guy who can fix it. Welcome back to the channel, you guys. My name is Jack. This is GasDiesel Garage. And in today's episode, we're going to try to get that RAV4 started. So stay tuned. What's up, boys? You gonna help? Guess not. Well, the first thing we need to do, we need to at least try to get this thing running, because in order to check the alternator, I really need the thing running. So I think that battery is pretty much dead, but let's see if it'll jump off. I've got my little jumper here. Throw this on. Okay, now that that's hooked up, get it right there, need boost. Now if this thing doesn't start, I'm gonna have to take the battery out and put it on my big charger. Now if it doesn't charge on my big charger, we're pretty much gonna need a new battery. So fingers crossed that I don't need a new battery. So let's go ahead, got power to it off this little thing. We'll top it on. Anyways, let's see if it'll start. All right. Well, that's a good sign. Got power to the dash. All right, started. Cool. All right. Now I need to take that charger off, or that jumper off, and see if it'll stay running. All right, it's running. Still. Okay. Guess I'm totally wrong. I think that battery's toast. That sucks. Let's do something else. We're gonna hook the battery jumper back on up, and then we're gonna put the multimeter on. We're gonna turn it to volts. We're just gonna hook this on up. Okay, that battery has all of less than 5 volts. I bet you it is dead, but hopefully it will charge. Okay, let's go try to start it up and see if that thing jumps to at least 14 volts. Okay, round 2. All right, let's see. Okay, that's good. Up, and there's the alternator that just went down. See how that 14 went up and then it went back down to 11? Let's check at the alternator to see. All right, pull this off if we can. But we're going to let the battery charge for about an hour. In the meantime, we're just going to go ahead and take this alternator off. So the first thing we need to do, we need to grab our 19mm, and you got to take the belt tensioner off, or our belt tension. So the first thing we need to do, we need to see, you see that where my socket is? Well, there's a tensioner that sits right there, and it's a 19mm. You need to put that on, and you need to pull, or actually push down on it, meaning going towards you, and we need to release the tension off of that belt, because we need to take the belt off because we need to take the alternator off. But we are going to put a new tensioner on it. Now that we got the belt free, now we can start working on taking all of the stuff off the alternator that is in the way of the bolts, like that bracket there, little 10mm. Pull this bracket out. Yeah, it moves. Now we just got to take out the cables and the plug. Now guys, you can actually unplug all of this stuff and move it out of your way, but you really don't need to because it's just going to slide in anyways. Now what we need to do, get that 14mm bolt which is on top, and then on the bottom of the alternator, you can't see it, but it is a 12mm. Now that you got both of those bolts out, just get yourself a long pry bar or some big old hands, and you should be able to loosen this thing up and pull it on out. All right. So what we got here is a brand new alternator from Amazon, and I will have a link in the description below on how to get one of these brand new alternators for literally less than probably about, I'd say at least half. I'll be nice, I'll say half the price of what you get it in a store. I promise that, or a dealer or a mechanic shop. Don't get screwed by the dealer. See the link in the description below on how to get an alternator for your RAV4. Let's take a look at this. That's all right. Woo, buddy. That's pretty. Let's go ahead and put it on in. Oh wait, forgot one other thing. The belt kit. The serpentine belt kit. Yes, link in the description below on how to get yourself a brand new belt and tensioner. And don't get screwed by the dealer because it's fairly cheap on Amazon. Belt, brand new tensioner. There we go. Alrighty, let me explain the tensioner assembly. We're gonna have to do this from the bottom, unfortunately. So we're gonna slide up under here. You don't have to jack the vehicle up, and you're gonna take your splash shield off, which there's three 10mm bolts here. You just take them off and you're gonna have all that access to be able to do the tensioner. Now before I slide up under there, I want to let you know that this bolt here, which goes into the block, that's going to be a 14mm bolt, and then down here I believe it's a 12mm, but I will correct myself once I get down inside there and start taking this thing off. So now it's time to get on my back. Alrighty, now that we're on the bottom of the vehicle, we can see this a lot better. There's that top bolt. Got my 14mm ratchet on it, or line wrench ratchet. Got to take that on out, and I think I got it loose, which yeah, I do. And we got to take the little bottom shock mount nut off, which is a 14mm too. See, I told you I was going to correct myself. Thought it was a 12, but it's actually a 14mm. So let me get my 14mm on that one and take it on out. Well, okay, I decided to take the motor mount out, which there it is right there. I took it out because it allows me a lot more space to work with to even get the tensioner out. Yes, this is the new one, but I'm able to slide that thing in there and get that 14mm bolt started without any problems. But I also jacked the engine up just a little bit. Now make sure you put a jack stand under, or I'm sorry, a jack under there with a piece of wood, because you do not want to bend the oil pan, because that will suck and you'll be doing an oil pan. Okay, let's take a closer look at what this tensioner does mechanically. That bolt right here, that goes into the block, and then it pivots like this, and it anchors with this shock right here. Now, to release the tension on the belt, we had to crank down on that 19mm socket right there, and then basically it pushed down, and when you let off, it puts tension on it. So let's go ahead and put this thing on in. Now here's the reason I love filming with a GoPro. The GoPro can get into places that most cameras can't. And in this situation, since we can't actually see where that anchor bolt goes on the block with that tensioner, I'm gonna show you exactly where that hole is. Follow me. Okay, so we dive right in and we go and check this thing out. We're under the motor mount bracket here, and you see this hole right there? That's the hole that we are going for to put that tensioner in. So let's go ahead and finagle this thing on in. This is what I was trying to show you guys earlier in the video. There's two bolts that hold this alternator on. There's your one long one that goes on top, and then a small one on the bottom that you couldn't really see very well. But that's a good shot of them. Just want to show you what it looks like. Now I can already see you guys about to ask the question in the comments. Why did I not show you guys how to put the motor mount back on and the dry belt? Well, the dry belt I didn't show because number one, it was going to be poor lighting. You wouldn't have been able to see anything anyways. And number two, I have the diagram right here. I'll put it right here and show you exactly how that thing goes on. It's very, very simple. I promise you that. Now, since we're done with putting everything back together, we need to see if this thing will start and charge. So let's go on over here. Let's go ahead and start it. Okay. All right. All right. No battery light on. That's a good thing. Check engine light. That's something else. I'm sure it's got a transmission issue. Which, if you want transmission a fix on a Toyota RAV4, check this out right here. But let's go see if it's charged. Okay. Set this thing to volts, which we did. Okay. Put that right there. See if I can do this with one hand. All right. There we go. About 14 volts. That's exactly what we needed for this alternator repair. Well, that's going to be a wrap for this episode of Gas Diesel Garage. Please make sure you like, subscribe, comment, pick up some merch while you're at it, because every time you buy something from the merch store, that means I get to do a lot more videos just like this so I can help you guys on YouTube. So with all that being said, I'll see you next time. Peace.